Hi everyone, it's Jack with Battlescale Collectica, and today I'm going to do a product review on a small reciprocating sander. I picked this up off of Amazon a few months ago, and I thought I'd give it a try working on detailing an upcoming action figure release that I'm going to be unveiling soon. So I thought I'd just show how it works. This is the first time I've actually tried using it. So it's got several different heads with different shapes. It's got some angled head, like with 9-degree angles. It's got some curved, some square, just different heads depending on what you need to get in for nooks and crannies. So on today's project, I'm going to try, I just want to sand off some of this. And I don't want to use a too heavy of a sander. I don't want to use anything that's really going to grind away. So you just pop on the heads. It looks like it only goes on one way. So there. Here's a power button here. It's got some lights that supposedly you can program them to indicate what speed. It's hard to tell because it's all in Chinese. I really don't need the lights. The gist of it is, here's the button. That's low. Then you hit it again, like a medium. Then you hit it again, high speed, then stop. Now it comes with a bunch of small, like sticky sandpaper in various grits. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start with some of the heavier grit. This looks like it's a 180 to start, but they've got sheets in different shapes depending on what head you're going to use. 180, 280, probably all the way up 400, 600, 800, 1,000. Looks like it goes up to 1,000 grit. So anything that you wouldn't want to use a Dremel or spend a lot, I think this is mainly for finessing small crevices. So I'm just going to see what size sandpaper and peel it off. And I hope you can see this on this camera. You just kind of stick it on. And again, this is not like a super powerful, it's really kind of just to finesse or to do a little bit of sanding, something that you just want to pull some details off. So I want to get rid of this design that's in the 3D print. Obviously, I've already cleaned off the supports. So I'm just going to see how it works. So I just want to, you can't push too heavy on it because it's not super powerful. Let's see if that's doing anything. A little bit. Let's turn it up. All right, that's a higher setting. I don't want to distort or take off too much, which I don't think with this you have to worry about it. Because again, it's really for like fine detail work. You could use a Dremel on this, but you'd rip everything off, but there's a chance that you can make it uneven. So I just wanted to try something that had a lighter touch on it. You have to be patient. So it is taking some off. Show it from an angle. I'm trying to be flat. Again, I don't want to warp. I don't want to risk warping the shape because then that would kind of mess me up on finishing it. I just want to lightly get rid of that pattern. So it's, and again, I'm using 180, so this is supposedly the heaviest grit. Just kind of going back and forth on it. And it's, even if you can't see it, I mean, it's engraved in the plastic, so it goes a little bit into the layer. So it is removing. I don't know how well you can see this white, but it is slowly kind of grinding it down. My thought was with this is when I was printing it that I would paint the design on here, but I really didn't like how it was coming. So I thought I would do something else, and you'll see when I really actually get into the figure itself. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I'm not ready yet with the head sculpt. So I think, hope you can see some of that. It is slowly, I mean, it's, again, you're not going to move a lot of material with this, and you don't want to. I mean, that's why I'm using this. I have no idea how long this thing holds a charge. If I had to guess, you could probably get about a half hour of use out of it. I'm definitely feeling the surface. So, I mean, it is cutting it away. You just got to be patient with it. Otherwise, you'll make the surface uneven. That's coming along. Another use for, like in here, be good for if you need to, now the angle. So I'm going to pull this head off, put this over here. And I saw one that would work for this, and I think it was this one. This one's curved. All right. I'm going back and I'm going to stick to with the 180 grit just because I've got it open. And this is inside the arm. And it is pretty, I mean, it's got some bite. So another good instance for this is when you want to, I don't know if you can see. Now this doesn't really matter because there's arms going in here, but just for, see, I don't know what these lights mean. Actually, I don't even know why it's not working now. Okay, just gotta be patient, I guess. All right, I'm on the high speed here. A little bit of material. So again, something like this with the Dremel, you get in here and you just ream this thing out instantly. But if you want a little bit more control, so it's not moving a lot of material, like here on the bottom. Some layer lines on here because this is printed in plastic. And if you guys kind of follow along with me, you know a lot of times I'll print things in plastic just because it's cheaper and easier than resin, depending on what the project is. With these 1/6 scale action figures, the bodies I've been sticking with plastic, and sometimes that's a challenge, but it's a lot cheaper. Like here, there's a good. You can see there's material on there. So on these kind of bottom transitions, because again, there's always layer lines here because of the nature of the print. And I usually will putty them in and sand them. So for really, really small amounts of detail work, where you don't want to take a lot off, you want to just do a little smoothing and stuff, and nooks and crannies for some finishing, especially with like when you get into the really fine grits, I think this would work okay. Come on. Just have to wait a second after. So, I mean, it is pulling some stuff off, and there's, so yeah, just a little bit more on here, and I'm going to go back to that. So if you, again, if you're looking for something to pull a lot of material off, this isn't your tool. If you just want to do some finessing, nooks and crannies, hard spot where you really can't get sandpaper in there or you can't get a block in, or you just want to go easily and not overdo it with like with a really powerful tool, this comes in handy. And maybe if I bothered to learn why it's got lights, and I mean, I don't know what the point is, but so I don't really care. Definitely slower than a Dremel, but I don't have a lot of depth on the top of this medallion, so I don't want to overdo it. And that's definitely taken down to where I'm into the grooves. So this is not bad. I'd rather go a little slower and with less material than to do it too fast, and all of a sudden then I got to try to fix because my medallion's crooked or got half torn up. And I don't really want to do that. Not for what I've got in mind for this figure. You can still see some of the design in there. I apologize if you hear the dogs. We got a new horse and they're yelling at the horse. I'm in my new shop, so that's why my new workbench, but it is closer to some of the animals, so. But yeah, that's definitely taken off. I can barely feel the cutout. I think on cars, when you want to do some fine work on the inside or clean up some of the mold stuff, I think this could work if you want to have a really light touch. But obviously it's taking longer than just getting a Dremel and a grinder and just going over it. But I don't really have a lot of material here, so I just want to play it safe. So I think for the $20 for what I paid for this, from when I am going to be using it, I think it's fine. You gotta wait after you hit it. I don't know how to pronounce that. DSPIAE, I don't know. There it is if you. So anyways, you get a lot of different heads, and I'll clean this up in a minute. You get 2 whole packs, and you can see there's a lot on each one. So looks like you get 2 sheets of each one. So 2 sheets of these, 2 of the 200s, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. Then I guess if you really wanted to, you could always just cut up and use some adhesive with just stuff you pick up over at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. But I think this sandpaper would probably last me quite a bit. Then it came with this, and I think it's to help label. I guess according to this, I should have up to 1,500, but maybe it's in there. Anyways, that's my review. So it's a handy little tool if you're looking up to get something for some fine sanding, something that you don't mind taking your time. You're not just gonna go over it and just take a whole layer or ruin your plastic or your resin or whatever. I think this is an option. And yeah, so there's all kinds of work duration with a load. It says it's 100 minutes. It's charging time is 20 minutes. Rated power is 2.8 watts. The output with a load is 250 milliamps. Battery size is 280 mAh. So, small battery, but again, I don't know. I think for what it is, it's fine. So there's my little review. It's handy if you're, curious, if you need to get in corners or like some kind of concave shape. And then there's a whole bunch. I mean, I guess there's really, really round ones, some kind of flatter, so here it is. So if you like questions, comments, I'll try to put a link. Otherwise, just search on Amazon for reciprocating sander for whatever this. It's ES-A. Maybe that's the model number. So yeah, and then stay tuned because I'll have some new figures I'm going to be announcing. So until then, I'll see you in the forums.